Good morning, everyone. So today is a Thursday, the 12th of March. We are all gathering this morning to do this morning chanting. Today I also received the congratulation letter from Wat Paknam, the abbot of Wat Paknam, congratulating our event. Similarly, I also received an email from David yesterday evening regarding the summary of the construction of this building, the Bosita Hall. Overall, we raised 200 and just over 20,000 pounds over 5 years' time. And with that, about just over 12,000 pounds we spent for the administrations and the engineers and QR and so on. And the construction itself, initial estimate was 200,000. But we managed to reduce a couple of £1,000. In the meantime, completion fees and the certificates costs almost £10,000, so which totals about £215,000 for the completion of this building, which is quite a surprise and also quite good. I didn't think that we raised 220,000 plus pounds for it. I was thinking that maybe about 205,000, that over the period of a time that we raise and spend altogether, it comes into average of 215,000 pounds for the construction of this building. So on behalf of Temple and personally myself and the trustees, I would like to express my gratitude and appreciation and also rejoice on everyone's in this mutual effort to complete this building. I also express my gratitude and appreciation to all the committee members who have worked so hard to keep all the tracks and also supporting for the completion of the building. This building physically is completed since last year, and we have been using it since last year for the regular chantings and classes and the meditation retreats and other courses. But spiritually, it hasn't been completed yet, as we proposed that this building, we are consecrating it as a sacred place in Scotland. So this building would be the first of its kinds that we built purposefully for this particular purpose. So this is the spiritual part that we are going to have it on the 17th of May would be another milestone for the center. Once we have enshrined the marker stones in all the 8 directions, with the support of venerable monks and our members of a community, then that confirms the spiritual part completion, and then this building becomes officially recognized as the Uposatha Hall. Now, once we have a Uposatha Hall, it signifies the establishment of Buddhism in that area. Now, this establishment of Uposatha here in northeast of Scotland means that in northeast of Scotland now Buddhism has established. So, which is very proud of this job that we all come together for this successful event. And over the period of a time that we may have seen that a number of our members who are interested to practice the Dhamma gradually growing and getting a popularity. The people began to attain the meditation sessions in various forms, in person and also online, and also attending the retreats. And that's the purpose of our center. We concentrate on the practice of the meditation and also facilitate whoever is looking for the spiritual development. Not only in terms of the practice of the Dhamma, but also study the Dhamma, which is the reason why we have started having this Dhamma reflections every single day, just to give the basic knowledge of the Dhamma, and as well as Buddhist studies that we have started, not only for the adults but also for the children. And these activities are basically to promote the Buddhist values that we should be following, which will bring us mental well-being and physical well-being. So we collectively joined together to establish this center as a center to learn the Dhamma and as a center to practice the Dhamma in accordance with the Theravada tradition that we are following, which is the reason why we have a very limited rituals and limited rituals activities. We try to reduce any entertainment as much as possible, and any rituals as much as possible, but emphasize on the practice of the Dhamma. The practice of the Dhamma is something that we are preparing for the right gear for our own life, so that we won't be disappointed, so that we won't be surprised, but able to live our life in a Dharma way. And we won't be in a troublesome, as we know that oftentimes people are living in a delusional state in many forms, by holding on to either their age, either their wealth, or either their health. In terms of the age, we always think that we are still young and we still have many days to live or many years to live. Heedlessly living in such a way, not only that, majority of a people even never thought of the end of the life. The very moment when we think about the death, we have a fear, we have a negative emotions, and we try to resist, which is the hard reality. It doesn't matter how hard we try to avoid or resist, it's coming closer and closer. So youth is not something that's static. So we should not be heedless about our age, that I am still young and I won't have any physical problem. No, I will die soon. When I walk around in the town, looking at the people rushing around, shouting, or very busy, and further on, when I look at some of the news, the conflicts and the wars and the political conflicts, dragging this and dragging that, all simply, I feel like they haven't understood that the life is so short, and why we are so much greedy, and why we are so much in a delusional state, trying to make the material possessions or the power over somebody, simply thinking that my life is so long that I can conquer the entire world, or I can possess everything that I could think of. But if you flip around, then we realize that a life is not that what we think is long. So we have to live life wisely. Not only thinking that this is the only life we have, which is very pessimistic. We have to think that this is one of the journeys in the samsara, so that we won't be disappointed and will not have a fear, and also will not fight or compete or struggling and not accepting the hard truth. As the Buddha also said, that the very moment when we reflect that one day we have to die, then we will not be too greedy, and we will not be harboring any resentments. And the reflection of this, that one day we have to die, that this death is something that we do not know when it is coming to be. It could be tomorrow morning, it could be an hour later, it could be just a minute later. As we have seen many examples, while people eating choked and died, while people walking and knocked and fell down and died, while going through even a short accidents like a heartbreak, strokes, It could happen at any time. We never know the time. So that's why we should not be heedless with our age, with our youth. Whenever we see other people more aged than ourselves, we should be thinking, reflecting again and again that one day I will be like them. Same thing when we see the news about someone's death, thinking that one day I will be one of them too. So reflecting on that, it's not about the negativity, it's not about the fear, it's not about something that we should not be thinking about. But these are the hard truths that the more we reflect on, our life becomes much valuable. We will be living the healthy life. Whereas when people think that their life is long and they do not worry about own health, thinking that they're still young and they won't have any diseases and so on. So health also something that comes as we reflect that our life is very valuable. The Buddha said that we earn wealth, money, for a comfort life. When we become sick, whatever amount of money that we have, we are happy to spend on it. That's why people sell their houses, sell their lands, and all the jewelries that they have accumulated over the time, simply thinking that this money will save my life. So we're happy to spend any amount, simply hoping that it will cure my disease and I will be healthy, which is the reason why people traveling around the world, seeking for the best doctor, hoping that they will treat me and I won't be dying. But the health is something that's different, which is the reason we are happy to pay any amount. And further on, in order to save our own life, and the Buddha further said that we may have to lose some limbs, some part of the body as well. And we're happy to lose that too. And which is the reason when we have severe illnesses, sometimes we may have to cut our hands or legs. And I have seen many people about over 70s, mostly 80s, in the hospital that they amputated their legs simply to save their lives. So health also something very important. So which is the reason Buddha said that a person who is healthy, he has all the blessings. But this health again is the hard truth. That doesn't matter how well we look after, somehow we get sick. And obviously if we are taking substance that really harmful for the body, then that makes closer or quicker to get the other health problems. So which is another reason why Buddha also said that people are heedless about their own health, thinking that they will not be sick, they will not have any problem until they find something, and then the trouble begins. And once you have a problem, the wealth cannot help. Doesn't matter how wealthy you are, doesn't matter how much you have. You may have billions of pounds in your account, billions of pounds of properties around. But when the health problem starts, it won't help. So you have to be very careful that these wealth, whatever ways we have accumulated in this world during our lifetimes, use it wisely. Now, in the same time, if you don't have wealth, then that's also troublesome. Therefore, we have to remember that wealth that we earn is to give us a comfortable life, not to use it in a wrong way. And also do not use it as a form of a demonstration of your status and look down on somebody. Whatever you have earned, whatever you have possessions, those, once you die, it will pass on. They will pass on to somebody else. There are plenty of people waiting to get once you die. You can't take with you the wealth, and it can't help not to be get old and then not to be get sick. It can maintain this entire body to last little longer, live little healthier. So living a little bit of a healthier and living a little bit of a longer life, we should be reflecting that this is to reflect the Dhamma and study the Dhamma and live life wisely. So wealth is something to support our well-being and happiness. And this well-being and happiness, not simply to live our life on this earth, but living this life on this earth to learn the Dhamma, understand our own true self, that how fragile we are, and with this fragility that we have, developing understanding so that we won't be disappointed and we won't be suffering, and we're happy to live, and also we're happy that we have used this life wisely, studying the Dhamma, understanding our true self, and accumulation of great merits for this own life and also life after to come. If we look at the Buddha's further teachings about the wealth, the Buddha said that whatever you keep, it's lost. Whatever you give, you gain. To keep here means if you become stingy and keep it and holding that you want to keep it until your death, then you're lost. Because once you die, these properties or these wealth will be distributed to other people. If you don't have any children, the government will take it away, your charities will take away. But if you give to somebody before your death, or someone, now it's a giving again, Buddha use many similes, giving to whom, and that will last for how long? giving to children. Children may remember you for a couple of years, if long enough, if they're really into it. But most of the time, once they got it, they've forgotten. If you give to charities, similar, your nameplate will be there for some times. But the real investment that the Buddha taught is to give wisely, which will help more people. A long-term investment is like, as I have said, construction of the temples and schools, universities, hospitals, books, and even supporting a monk. Because if you support your child, this child will look after his or her family well, one family. But if you look after a monk and you manage to support this monk will look after entire community. Sometimes millions of them are benefited from one single monk. And doesn't mean that this monk is like someone who born to be, but you have supported them, and with that he or she managed to support the community in that way. Like me myself, if I married someone a long time ago, I will be looking after my own family, my own wife, my own children. There are many stories, countless stories, that once you're married, you even forgot your parents. You don't look after your parents. Only look after your wife or your husband and your children. But over this 27, 28 years of being a monk, and especially living here in the West Hill in Aberdeen, Scotland, behind this cold and wet and weather, I have no families, no relatives. Yet, I'm so glad that I have contributed to the community. And it's only possible because I've received so much support from so many people, including the journey that I made, my education, my living, and even the construction of or establishment of this center. And with that, thousands of people receiving the benefit of it. Like in a health center, if you look at the numbers, so yearly around 500 people from local community receiving the support. And within the center here, I would say about 1,000 people yearly. And if you look at the events and the retreat that we organize, whether in person or online, so altogether yearly we are supporting, the center is supporting probably, if not 10,000, not less, I would say. So that's why supporting monks also regarded as something that really valuable, that you have invested and you will not be forgotten. So overall, just wanted to convey the message that do not heedlessly living that I am still young, and do not heedlessly living that I am still healthy, and do not heedlessly living that I have plenty of wealth to live all my life. So mindfully living and use these time skillfully to practice the Dhamma, learn the Dhamma, practice the Dhamma, and rather than reborning in the samsara again and again and suffering. So may you be liberated. So work towards the liberation. So with this reflection, let's do the chanting, and I hope you all have a good luck. And this week we are going to have plenty of a job as well. So with this, let's do the chanting.